everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. I am here with It's the 9-Ball. How are you doing today, good sir?
Going good.
I kind of like low key wanted to have like some sort of like crowd behind you, be like, "Ah, it's the 9-Ball." How would you have felt if I did that?
Oh no! I mean, awkward. Like sitting in your room, like 8 people just get bum rushed in the back.
Exactly. You never know what can happen. Maybe one day. But we have our trio with Mill, Dewey, Carrot. How are you doing today, good sir?
Tired.
Heard that, man.
It's
been
a good
long
tired
day.
though.
Yes. Welcome to ALWT Things Gaming, Episode 8, Season 2 of 2022. I am your host again, Flash, aka Malachi36. Every Tuesday, in case you guys are new to this channel and everything like that, every Tuesday we get together, we talk video game news, anything that's been coming out that's new recently. We got 5 stories today, so it's a little bit of a lighter day, which is good. So we got a little bit more time to talk. I want to actually got a little bit meatier texts from online and from different reporters and analysts and all that good stuff about everything that we're about to talk about. But before we get into that, there's a game, a very special game that came out over the weekend. And that game is Mill Dewey. What's that game that came out over the weekend that's very special?
Are you talking about Horizon Forbidden West?
I'm talking about Horizon Forbidden West. Yes. And anyone that knows that this is a game that's on that caliber, that if you have PTO or anything like that, you take your time off for it, you take that time off for it. Just like my boy Mildewy Carrot just did. And I want to ask you, Mildewy Carrot, where are you at right now with the game? How do you feel? I know you're going to be doing a video review later on, but just a little sneak peek into what's going to be in the review. Where are you at?
So, you guys, I don't know the depth of how far into the story I am in terms of progression. I must say I'm getting pretty far into it. I want to say possibility of halfway, maybe. And the reason it's only halfway is because there's a lot of side missions. If anyone remembers Zero Dawn, there's a lot of open world. There's a lot of shiny stuff out there that can easily distract you, especially when you're looking at your map and you're like, all right, I need to go. Ooh, there's a question mark. Let's go to it. So there's a lot of that going on. So all in all, though, I am not disappointed. I found some funny stuff that has occurred, and some stuff that I'm like, But to be honest, this game is so huge that it wouldn't surprise me if a few small things fell through the cracks, And it's not something to immediately shut the game down on and like rage quit about, And it could just be maybe it's my copy, Maybe my copy had a little bit of a hiccup when it was installing, So, but all in all, it is a fantastic game. The story has got me hooked beyond belief with what's going on. It's just incredible. They did a wonderful job with a sequel to the game. If I had to rate it comparative to the prequel, I know what I'm saying is just if I had to say like to the prequel, I would say it's so far is taking it started off on the same level that Zero Dawn like ended at, and I feel it's stepping up. I'm not gonna say it's like a huge jump, but it brings back that good old classical Horizon Dawn feel and adds more stuff into it. Some more changes, more modifications, especially new flavors as you saw in the videos with the new clans and everything. So there's a lot of new stuff, but I think it's going good, really good so far. So can't wait to try and complete it. And I will try and remember to do a video on it, but you'll have to be patient with me, guys. My life's kind of going up and down right now. With mine and my family, so if it's not out by midweek or something, probably next week is when you'll see it.
Sounds good. Let me ask you this. I know you said that you don't know exactly where you're on the story, and I don't want to go too heavy into it because I want to save you some
halfway.
Video.
But
Well,
I don't know.
well, I was about to say, do you think in your heart that you will have it beat by this weekend?
If I keep up the pace I'm doing right now, possibly.
Okay.
And it depends upon how much more shinies I found. I will say this: half of my map is still covered in fog of war.
Ooh.
So I don't know. Like I said, that's a lot of shinies out
Mhm.
there. Thank God there's chargers that you can just mount up and ride into the sunset on, because that would have been a pain in the ass to run through all of that. That and
Yeah.
fast travels. Thank God for fast travels.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's a really big map, a really good game. Like the first, like I want to say, I really want to say maybe about 8 to 9 hours of the gameplay that I've done so far. I feel like I was in just the beginning area of the Daunt. Like there was a lot in there, the Daunt, and then also in the sorry, let me rephrase that. Not just the Daunt. That was with the prologue, intro, and then going into the Daunt and doing side missions and everything. And there, I feel like I took about good 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's me spitballing because I honestly don't remember when last Friday started right now. So, you know, that's just me spitballing.
Heard that. Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. I picked it up myself, and I got a little. I got through the intro for sure. I'm liking the energy of the game. I'm liking the first comrade that you run into, all that good stuff. And I'm still again very very early on, so I still have a lot to go. Have a lot to catch up on Mildew and Carrot on, so we can have discussion as far as this goes. And maybe one of these ALWT Things Gaming will be a discussion after we all completed it, all that good stuff. Nine Ball, I can't remember. I feel like I ask you this once every 3 months. Where are you at with Horizon Zero Dawn? Did you play it and beat it? Were you interested in it
Nah.
ever?
No, I like it. It's just I haven't. It's in my backlog.
Gotcha. Or do you plan on getting Forbidden West anytime soon, or are you gonna wait until Zero Dawn's finished first?
I'm gonna wait till Zero Dawn's finished first because I won't understand the story otherwise.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. 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 Um. Yeah. So again, be on the lookout for that video post review for Horizon Forbidden West is done by yours truly down below, and you guys will see that come out within the next week or so. Um. Also, want to throw out there for anybody that again is coming here for the first time, we do a thing online where it's a little fun fantasy gaming league, if you will. It's very similar to fantasy football, and it works on an annual basis. So instead of you going against your one person every week, you're against everybody that's inside the league together at the same time, and it is scored on a 100-point scale. So, but 70 points being the threshold, meaning anything that scores above 70 points on the Open Critic / Metacritic gains you points. Anything that scores below loses you points. So if Horizon Forbidden West came out and it got me in what in 89, which is what it actually did get me on this fantasy gaming league, then that got me 19 points because that is 19 points above 70. However, if it does terribly, I'm just gonna say Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's not scored right now, but like say if it ended up getting a 60, that's 10 points below 70, so that would have lost whoever has it, which is Zaka Corp in this situation, 10 points.
Yeah, try to jinx me.
So I do want to start it off right here because right now we are about 3 months in. We're just shy of 3 months in Fantasy Gaming League, and I just now took the lead. Not by a lot, not by a lot at all. But here's what the current standings are right now between the 6 of us. Moga, which is Make Ohio Great Again by Ohio. He has Pokemon Legends Arceus. He has 14 points from that. Sifu, 10 points. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, pending. Marvel's Midnight Suns, pending. Elden Ring, pending. Coming out this week. This is Elden Ring week, by the way. Happy Elden Ring week, everyone. But it's pending. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, pending. He has 2 open spots, and he has a counter pick of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is confirmed not coming out this year. Renzokuken by Silent has God of War Ragnarok, pending. Triangle Strategy, pending. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, not coming out. Chocobo GP, pending. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, pending. Final Fantasy 16, pending. Metroid Prime 4, pending. He has an open spot, and he has Diablo Immortal as a counter pick. ALWT Gaming, represented by me. I have Horizon Forbidden West, 19 points. A Plague Tale Requiem, pending. Starfield, pending. Ghostwire Tokyo, pending. Gotham Knights, pending. Redfall, pending. Mario Strikers Battle League. That's when we were talking last week. I was like, I'm gonna pick I have a plan because before I had Babylon's Fall. Y'all didn't see that. That was a little trickery I went ahead and did there. So yeah, Mario Strikers Battle League pending. The King of Fighters 15 got me 12 points, and I have a counter pick of Bayonetta 3, mainly because I don't think it's going to actually drop this year, but we shall see. Illuminatus Living by LSB Live has Dying Light 2 Stay Human, got 7 points. Bayonetta 3 pending. Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin pending. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope pending. Diablo Immortal pending. Shovel Knight Dig pending. 2 open spots, and he has Saints Row as a counter pick. Zaka Corp has Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 pending. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands pending. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl pending. Saints Row pending. Total War Warhammer 3 is 18 points. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 pending. 2 open spots, and he has a counter pick of Marvel's Midnight Suns. And lastly, but not leastly, is Carrot Patch Inc., aka Mildewy Carrot. He has Gran Turismo 7 pending. Forspoken pending. Tunic pending. Splatoon 3 pending. Stray pending. Salt and Sacrifice pending. Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp pending. He has an open spot, and he has a counter pick of Chocobo GP. So in that rating, ALWT Gaming is first with 31 points. Moga is second with 24 points. Zaka Corp is third for 18 points. Illuminatus Living is fourth for 7 points. We do have a tie for last, but as of right now, technically, Mildewy Carrot, aka Carrot Patch Inc., is 5th place, mainly because Renzokuken Silent has a counter pick that's not coming out this year. So there you have it. If you guys are following closely, watching closely, that is our current list right now for the Fantasy Gaming League. If you guys know what's good for you, root for your boy to come out on top in December.
Which boy? There's 3 of us on here, and Moga's probably fuming in the background. So
yeah,
just saying.
But without further ado, I want to start talking about these video game news that just came out recently today. This one came out today, and this is story number 1: the PlayStation VR 2 reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is coming on out, and this is a 2-parter here. So the first one's from the PlayStation blog post. So Hideaki Yonishinoi from PlayStation blog post says this in their article, or says this as a statement actually. Today, I'm especially pleased to reveal the stunning new design of our next generation VR headset. PlayStation VR 2, together with an updated and final design image of our PlayStation VR 2 Sense controller. You'll notice the PSVR 2 headset is similar shape as the PSVR 2 Sense controller, taking on a matching orb look. The circular orb shape represents a 360-degree view that players feel when they enter the virtual reality. So to shape the captures this shapes captures it nicely. The design of the PSVR 2 headset was also inspired by the look of the PS5 family of products. When our design team created the PS5 console, they also had the next generation VR headset in mind, so you'll notice some similarities in the look and feel. The PS5 console has a flat edge as it is meant to be displayed on a flat surface, while there are more emphasis on adding roundness to the design of the PSVR 2, since it was meant to have a constant human contact, similar to the rounded edges on the DualSense controller and the Pulse 3D headset. Our goal is to create a headset that will not only become attractive part of our living decor, but will also keep you immersed in your game world to the point where you almost forget you're using a headset or a controller. That's why we paid very close attention to the ergonomics of the headset and conducted extensive testing to ensure the comfortable feel for a variety of head sizes. We already had a lot of positive feedback on the ergonomics of the first PSVR headset, by carefully balancing the headset weight and having simple headband that can be adjustable. So we kept the same concept for the PSVR 2 headset. The other features such as the headset's adjustable scope and the places the scope our area are closer or further away from the face, and placement of the stereo headphone jacks also remain the same, so players will be familiar with it. End quote for the blog post. Mildewy Care, do you mind reading part 2 as I pull up an image of this PSVR headset?
Sure. Darren Bontius from GameSpot. Sony has shown off the final design for the upcoming PS VR2 headset and the accompanying Sense controllers, which feature a look similar to the PS5's aesthetic design. Like the console, the virtual reality hardware has a white finish, soft curves, and a matching orb motif. According to Sony, the circular orb shape represents a 360-degree view. That family of products or other family products. Sorry. Other features of the headset include a focus on comfort, as the hardware has a lens adjustment dial for users to dial in the distance between their eyes and the lenses. A slight weight reduction when compared to the previous PSVR model, and the new vent design. When I started working on it, um, let's see here. Started working on the design for the PlayStation 2 VR headset. One of the areas, sorry, wanted to focus on first was the idea of creating a vent in the headset to let air out, similar to the vent of the PS5 console that allows airflow. SIE senior art director Eugen Morisawa explained in a PS blog post. Our engineers came in with this idea as a good way to allow ventilation and avoid having the lens fog up while players are immersed in their VR games. I worked on many designs, concept to Jesus, and the final design. You can see there is a little space between the two top and front surface of the scope that contains the integrated ventilation. I'm really proud of how this turned out and the positive feedback I've gotten so far. I hope our PlayStation fans will also agree. I can't wait for them to try it out.
Yes. So if you guys can see right here on the stream, and I have it kind of overlaying our faces right now, you guys can see the PSVR headset too right there, and it does have the little sphere of the controllers. Has the dual. I know that there's going to be dual sense and haptic feedback in both the controller and the headset. I'm curious to see how they're talking about, because I know that the sound itself I think is also built inside the headset, but I wonder if you could just use your Pulse headsets with this as well, as far as sound goes for the 3D audio, or if that's going to be included inside whatever that they give you for the head device itself. I know that I'm in that camp to where I think the three of us, I think I'm the only one that's like looking forward to this and excited about this. But this is something that I am, again, looking forward to. Like, I can't believe it's not that far away from what it feels like, especially since that the design finished. And I'm curious of when it's actually going to come out with all these, because of all these these chip shortages that we have right now with the next gen console, which now is really current gen console, but just hard to get your hands on them. Still, this chip shortage is not going away anytime soon. But I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to be affecting PlayStation VR 2 when that actually comes out. So I want to take the conversation with you there first, Mildewy Carey. What do you think about? How do you think this is going to be affected? Do you think this is going to be affected? Has your mind changed since you've seen it or been thinking about PlayStation VR 2 at all? Where are you at with this?
I'm still gonna hold off on it. I'm not too big of the fan of VR. Right? I mean, it seems cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like there's still a lot that can be done to really truly bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's got a good enough of a fan base and group using it to where they get a lot of good data from it. So I'm kind of just gonna be like, I'm gonna sit back and wait until they work on more stuff with it. Excuse me, and probably get it a little bit more fine tuned. So I've been seeing it evolving. So that's good news that it doesn't seem to be receding and all, but it is evolving. So I'm probably just gonna wait for the final evolution before I really like make a decision or anything.
Right. Nine ball.
I'm in the same boat. I've never been too huge so far in the VR. I've seen a couple games that look good on VR though, but it's never really been my thing. So it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the pictures. I was just looking at the pictures. They look really nice. It looks extremely comfortable, and it looks like where you hold your hands at is going to be pretty good. And it doesn't look as intrusive as if you're wearing, like, I don't know, a big band-aid or tape over your head.
Wearing a football helmet.
Pretty much. And it looked like it's going to fall off. It looked like a Virtual Boy. Anybody remember that thing?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't look it doesn't look as bad as that. So they're definitely getting up there in it. Did they say pricing?
No. All we now have right now is like what it can do and the design of it as of today.
I'm betting probably four. I would say five. Probably around three.
I was about to say. I was about to say. I'll be closer to 3. I don't think it's going to be more than the console. And if the cheapest digital version of PlayStation is going to be 400, I can see it being maybe 350, 300.
Yeah.
I don't see it's going to be more than the console.
Yeah, that's why I went back and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because if it's 5, then you're spending $1,000 for. Yeah, that's a little steep, even for hardcore fans. So.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'm very excited about this. I do want to see Horizon Call of the Mountain. I want to see how that plays on this.
That does look interesting, but
yeah, and you're welcome to come over once I get it all together. You're welcome to come over and try it out. I
gotta get that text. I've got it. Knock, knock, knock.
That's exactly how it's gonna go. But yeah, I definitely want to try it out. I do want to kind of feel how boxing games are going to be in it. I do want to play some football games in that. I think that would be really cool too as well. One of the things that's kind of selling me even more about it, because I was excited about PlayStation VR, but I never actually got PlayStation VR. It's just never been something. And there's even a certain point where I just forgot about it. Period. But VR 2 has its hooks in me. For the simple fact of the matter is that the 3D audio, the haptic feedback, and they're having DualSense in the kit too as well to try to make it a little bit more realized. That is something that I absolutely love about the PS5, and I can't wait for more games to do that. More developers to utilize that feature even more on their games. You can sense it a little bit inside Horizon Zero Dawn, and I know we were talking about this before, but as you walk through the tall grass, you feel the different angles of that inside the controller. When you pull back the bow, you feel that tension inside the bow. I'm very curious to see how they're going to implement stuff like that in a VR construct. So, yeah.
It's a shame they can't really reenact a full bow in VR. Like, actually have it, like, you try and be full tension and all. It's like, I've got this. It's like, can't do it. You're just like, I'm a super bowman. And an actual archer's looking at you going, like,
yeah. Story.
Hey, no, none of that.
Story number 2. I did have myself a raised energy drink, which other people can get theirs at RepSports or ppsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming and check out and get 15% off. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about story number 2, which is Countdown is Over for Capcom enters Street Fighter 6. So we had speculated this last week during this same show actually. And
I lost.
Yeah, we were speculating this last week, and we were thinking that some were thinking that it was Resident Evil. I was kind of in the camp that I believed that was Street Fighter by all the information that was leading up to that, but I was secretly hoping it was Power Stone. So the leak is over. It's officially is confirmed right here. Eddie Macick from GameSpot says this in their article. Capcom has officially announced Street Fighter 6, the next entry in its popular fighting series. A teaser trailer shows every shredded look Ryu preparing to fight Luke, a DLC character from Street Fighter 5. There is also a close-up of feet, in case that interests you. Here comes a new Street Fighter. Capcom says it all in all caps post. More news about the game is to be expected to come this summer. As of yet, Capcom has not announced platforms or a release date, nor do we know anything about what gameplay changes and improvements can be expected. Street Fighter V was released in February 2016, so it's just recently marked as a 6th anniversary. The game has sold more than 6 million copies, while presumably it's made tons of money from DLC sales too. Capcom veteran and longtime Street Fighter producer Yoshinori Ono recently left the company, so Street Fighter 6 will be produced without his involvement in a big shakeup for the series. In addition to Street Fighter 6, Capcom announced the Capcom Fighting Collection, which includes 10 classic fighting games, which it launches June 24th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. End quote, end story. So, I more or less, and I'm going to start off with this one, because I have a question for you guys that afterwards too as well. I am in that camp that when I first, in my early stages of gaming, which is, I'm the first system that I've owned, I guess technically was a Super Nintendo, but the first system that I remember fully owning was a PlayStation 1. And I remember always just having like friends in my room, my brother be in my room and all that good stuff. And we would be playing Tekken, we'd play Street Fighter, play some Mortal Kombat, a little bit of Killer Instinct, but that was a PlayStation, that was a Super Nintendo thing. So I do remember playing a lot of those fighting games, and of course with the occasional Gran Turismo, which I can't remember which one it was at the time, probably the first one. But fighting games in general is kind of like a special case for me, to where I loved them a lot when I was younger. Growing up, getting through more of the RPG style, the open worlds and stuff like that, I kind of put fighting games to the back burner. Demon Slayer is probably the most recent fighting game that I played that I've thoroughly enjoyed and ended up beating the campaign on it. And I do like the way that Jump Force mechanics work. There's a few things I do have about Jump Force. Like, I wish that for Jump Force it was similar to Marvel vs. Capcom, to where everyone has their own separate health bar instead of everyone sharing a health bar. I think that's a thing against it, in my opinion. However, I did like the mechanic, the way it moves, having the fantasy inside the real world, all that good stuff. With that being said, I'm very curious to see how this next Street Fighter is going to pan out. I don't think this is going to be something I'm going to pick up, but also the question does remain if it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive or not. I think it's not going to be. I know PlayStation have bought Evo last year, which is a huge fighting event, if you will. But I do think that I agree with Khalif Adams when he talked about it as well, where he said fighting genres at this point is already a very niche thing, and if you're going to make that PlayStation like in order for them to thrive successfully to the caliber that they have, they should put it out on all the platforms available. So I do agree with them on that. But the question is Capcom / PlayStation, are they going to do that? So, and I have a question follow up after you guys give me your thoughts about this news for Street Fighter 6. I want to start with you there, Nineball.
I don't see how is Capcom owned by Sony?
No.
I don't see why then they would do it. They own Evo's an event. It's not really the games themselves.
Yeah, but it's the thing though is that it's you're correct about that. But the thing is that it's like the fighting event, and now PlayStation owns them.
That really won't affect Capcom at all.
I don't know, man.
You can do that, but you look like a total douche. How are you going to look? Well, you can't bring this game because Xbox has it. So you can't bring it to the tournament. That's like if you went to the Super Bowl and let's say the Rams couldn't show up because they was in California and the guy hated California.
No, not necessarily. So with that analogy, it's not. All right, the NFL owns all the teams technically that's out there right now. With that analogy, that's like trying to say OSU is trying to get inside the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Basically, the Evo event it's just a tournament. It's owned by PlayStation, which means PlayStation will sponsor it.
Right.
Which means you're gonna have a lot of PlayStation ads. I don't think you would make it a PlayStation exclusive for that. You could make Street Fighter PlayStation exclusive because of that, and I wouldn't bother putting pressure on them. That's a bad way of creating business. You might have companies start pulling out of it, because then if you do that, you would have to take Mortal Kombat out. You would have to take King of Fighters, Melty Blood would be pulled. Trying to think of some other ones, Virtual Fighters, because they all are on multi-consoles. They probably will almost always be, unless you, let's say, own the company. Um, getting over to the other point about the Street Fighter, I don't really know. I mean, I've never really played five. I played fighting games was basically like with you, it was the same with me. I used to play a lot with my family. Friends used to come over. We used to play like Mortal Kombat, or we used to put a lot of Dead or Alive, Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar. You had to say the word.
We ran that game constantly. Like we ran that
Yes.
one. We ran Dead or Alive tournaments in our house. Like I said, we ran some Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, stuff like that. But I've never been huge on fighting games. Like I played a bit of them, but I was never big on them like that. So I mean, I'm glad and I hope that it does well for the fans and all the people that do play them. But for me personally, it's gonna probably not be a pickup.
Mildewy Carrot.
It's another fighter game. I've never been big on fighter games. The biggest one I probably played was like Super Smash Brothers, on the GameCube. Other than that, we never really got into those. Me and my bro. What we did get into a lot of was like the multiplayer co-op shooters, like Medal of Honor. We got
Army
into
2.
Halo, Army 2, Gears of War, Call of Duty, that sort of stuff when we were younger. We also did a lot of like platformers, like single player platformer, story rich stuff. Was a lot of our things. So, I mean, I guess it's nice that they're doing to bring Street Fighter out because it does have its own following. So it's good that they're keeping that alive for their fans and all. Keeping it going for them. I don't think it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive because they're pretty much will cater. I feel like they're going to cater to everyone on every system at least. The PC one though, I don't think it'd be PC right away unless they've got the port already done for it. But I can see it on console.
It will be on. It will be on all of them. Most PC players
and
usually use controllers anyway.
And I think part of the conversation too. I think part of the conversation is that Street Fighter V, when it initially launched, was a PlayStation and PC exclusive. I don't remember exactly why, but I know that was like an issue. But I think that's part of the reason why people are wondering what this means for Street Fighter 6. Because that is something that's floating around right now a lot as far as like what consoles is it going to be out for and everything like that.
I feel like all of them.
I think it would be smart to do it on all of them, especially with what we just said as far as it being a niche audience still and everything like that. I think it would be smart on all of them, but I know that when Street Fighter V had I don't know if it was like, because there's like 4 different versions of Street Fighter V. So I can't remember which version it was, but I do know that one of them, when it had initially launched, it was a PlayStation and PC exclusive.
The only reason I said that is because I've been seeing recently where it's like they'll launch the games on console, but then they won't launch PC until later. So I'm not saying it's never coming to it. I just curious if it's going to be one of those ones where it's going to be console launch first and then they'll do PC afterwards.
Right.
I'm reading something that says it's on.
Trying to check myself in my water.
Yeah, live.
Don't do that. Don't. It hasn't gotten bad yet.
Not the right way to clean out the pipes.
I do want to ask you guys.
Yeah. Yes.
I do want to ask you guys a couple things. One, in the past, I feel like Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, those types of games have been very popular as far as getting DLC characters from other games into their game. Who is somebody that you guys will be likely to see or want to see? And I'm going to start off with you there, Mildew Carry. Pretending you're a fighting person.
Like a DLC of like into this game?
Yeah, a DLC character that you would want to see inside of a Street Fighter game. Street Fighter 6 specifically.
It would have to be someone who is like fighting based, to be completely honest. So Ooh, that's a good question. Trying to think here
I'm doing the same thing.
of like
I
who
I
I
can
know that's like a fisticuffs. I mean, the only ones I can maybe think of.
I
Um,
I had some ideas, but they've already been put in Street Fighter.
well, I was supposed to say I have three
um,
different ideas if you guys want me to share my thoughts.
Because one of mine was originally Hayachi, but he's already been put in there.
Yeah, on the Street Fighter Cross
I don't know.
Tekken.
Put
Yeah.
Kenna in, have her beat people with her stick.
I was
I,
actually
I
gonna.
I don't know how. Like I've never played. Like I said, I've never played Street Fighter, so I don't know who they put in, how they put them in, and all. Normally, when I'm thinking Street Fighter, I'm thinking like it's main fisticuffs and everything. Like I don't think you use weapons, not like Soul Calibur. So maybe Kenna would actually be a better fit for Soul Calibur if you're going light like that. But that's also very dark with those ones. So I really don't know of anyone else besides like people in the Avatar series who do fisticuffs. Like put people from the Avatar in who are like use just the base martial arts and not their actual elemental abilities.
I do
I mean,
think
I
that
don't know.
yeah I there's one
Goku,
that
we
did
don't know.
come. There's one that did come to mind, and it's the first thing that came to my mind, and it's new, and it is putting in Sifu inside Street Fighter. I think that'd be very interesting. I think that'd be
But how
very
would you
creative.
do
How would
that?
you? Yeah, how would you input
Because
them?
you have male and female characters with
You could put them
Sifu.
both. Put them both in.
Hmm.
You can switch your. Yeah, plus, they can switch the outfits in Street Fighter. You can switch the color of their gi and stuff like that. Or even if they're again, if they do have different stuff that they wear, they could do that. You could make that be male, female as another costume. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that'd be very creative. I don't think they'll do it, but I do think that would be very creative and definitely unique. Do you guys think that they're gonna? I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like it's. They did say what engine it is. It's going to be running an RE engine. They did confirm that.
Yeah, that's their in-house engine. It's the Resident Evil engine.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
going to be running an RE engine. But I do want to ask you guys. And I know that you haven't really played Street Fighter there, Mildew, but of course, feel free to chime in. Do you think they're going to keep the 2D side-scrolling setup towards like 3D 2D, or do you think they're going to adapt a little Tekken adaptation in there now that Tekken is pretty much finished? Mildew.
I was gonna say wouldn't be surprised if they kind of tried to stand up to Mortal Kombat with what they did because I mean I never played the game, but it looks like Mortal Kombat's got this full 3D fighting environment almost in a way to where like you can lock onto the person and move around and do rotations. It's either that or if not, then they'll probably do it like it. The only other game I'm familiar of is the Injustice game, the fighting game.
Oh, I
So
forgot
like
about
where
that
it's
one.
still like side scrolling, but with
Yeah.
3D models and then in interactive environments with doing stuff and all. So that's the only other one I could possibly see. Like I said, I don't know fighting games, but and you can all correct me if I'm wrong on the Mortal Kombat thing, but at least I from what I saw, I thought I saw from some trailers or stuff where they showed like they were able to almost move around freely-ish in a way.
So I think I honestly I'm you're not off the mark. I do think that's gonna be more similar to Injustice, to where there's 3D models but on a 2D setup. However, because they did have Akuma inside Street Fighter 6 and he worked very well in Street Fighter 6, I wouldn't be surprised if they did do some sort of adaptation for a 3D setup to where there is an environment like that and you're just going ham with each other. I doubt that they will do that, but I won't be surprised if I see it.
I'm thinking they're gonna keep it more of more of the same. I mean, yeah, the graphics will get better, but I don't think they're gonna go to a 3D like a Dead or Alive 8-way movement where you can circle your opponent and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It in some ways it's good, but in other ways it's bad because in certain instances of like let's say you play a main control character. Let's say you play like a Dawson, which is basically a field controller. It makes it, I guess, for those types a lot harder because you can easily rush in on them. And number two, the player base has usually always been built around that. I feel like you would want to experiment with it, probably on a different game before you would bring it over to Street Fighter, and maybe if they take to it, maybe you may go over. But I don't think they're gonna more or less just take it and go. Here, complete 8-way movement. It may be right. Like, I think the only thing they may do is sort of like Mortal Kombat 11 and stuff, to where you can use the background.
Mm.
You may be able to do that, but I don't think they're going to just go complete. Can run around your opponent and stuff like that.
Yeah, instead of it being like it's not an arena fighter, but it's not going to be an arena fighter style. It's going to be more 2D is what you're thinking.
Yeah, 2D or 2.5D in a way. Like Mortal Kombat has something similar. While you can't really go around, they have abilities that allow you to go behind, Scorpion's teleport, stuff like that.
Right.
And Street Fighter, like I said, has always been known for that. You don't want to get locked down in a corner, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
am with that. I am with that. Again, wouldn't be surprised if I do see some sort of Tekken inspired game developed here, but only time will tell. I'm gonna have to wait until this summer. This one's a fun one. I know 2 out of 3 of us are fully caught up on all of the games, and we just talked about this actually last week with one of the viewers that were watching with us, and we talked a little bit about it. Dragon Age in 18 months. That is a year and a half is when it should be coming out. So on here, Jessica Howard from GameSpot says this in our article. If like so many of you have been waiting patiently for any news regarding the next installment of Dragon Age series, you're in luck. News reports state that Dragon Age 4 is, quote, in very good shape, end quote, hitting milestones, and is set to release on schedule. Assuming this is all true, it looks like we can expect Dragon Age 4 around late 2023. The announcement comes from Giant Bomb contributor Jeff Grubb, who discussed the game's development in the most recent episode of Grubb Snacks. Grubb said he anticipated the games is, quote, at least 18 months away after being in development since 2017. While the news doesn't come as much of a shock, multiple insiders stated that there were no chance Dragon Age 4 will be released in 2022 just last month. This is the first real timeline we've been given for the project, even if it's just a bit broad. Apart from the newly anticipated release window, not much else is known about the installment of Dragon Age series. Reports state it will be set in Tevinter, and the team working on it will be scrapping all multiplayer or live service elements in favor of focusing on a robust single-player campaign, but additional information has yet to be confirmed. This announcement also comes shortly after the reveal of Dragon Age senior creative director Matt Goldman was leaving BioWare. While the abrupt departure raised some alarm when it was announced last November, BioWare GM Gary McKay assures fans that the team's commitment is to a high-quality Dragon Age game has not wavered, and we will not ship the same a game that is not up to BioWare standards. Based on Grubb's remarks, it seems like McKay's statement are holding up, and BioWare's quest to rebuild its reputation is moving along as planned. End quote, end story, but I do want to go to the story real quick. I did want to go ahead and go here real quick because there was something that was on GameSpot that was actually updated. And here we go. Let's see. Dragon Age, Dragon Age, Dragon Age. Where art thou, Dragon Age? Alright. Let's see. Alright, and as I'm looking for this, Mildewy Carrot, your thoughts about Dragon Age?
I mean, I need it. I need to know more about what's going on with Solus. Yes, I'm saying the name. Everyone should know him, even if you haven't played the game. That's not showing so much on there, but giving you questions now about what's at the end of the game. So, sorry if I did that, but no, I need to know I need to know the rest of it. I need to know the story. It's such a good story. I am not going to put all of my eggs in the basket for this one. About the 18 months, because we are currently still going through COVID situations and all, pandemic and all. So I'm going to be happy that they're saying that they are expecting sometime here in about 2023. I'll be more excited when we actually get a final date on it. I also can't wait to see some trailers, which, to be honest, they may do coming soon. But to be honest, if they're saying 2023, I wonder if they'll not do anything until maybe like a small teaser midway, and then do an actual reveal trailer, like a more like maybe gameplay and stuff, like cinematic trailer, during the 2022 um, VGA.
E3. So I'm kind of in that same boat
Like,
too. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, so like kind of like your E3 time zone area, they do like a teaser launch trailer, and then around the VGAs, and they actually do like a gameplay or something if they're going off the 18-month time frame.
I'm kind of in that same boat too. I think what they're doing right now. I'm actually seeing if I can. Dragon Age. Try to get some news up in here. 18 months. 18 months. News. But yeah, no, I'm in that same boat too as well. I'm ready for another Dragon Age. It's been a while. The way they ended this last one definitely is appealing, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with the new world with more choices and stuff like that. It's trying to see if BioWare will get back to their roots of making games versus what they've been doing. So very curious about that. I do think that we're going to probably see something likely E3, Summer Games Fest time frame as well. We might even get a release date, and then I think closer to the VGAs is when we get like another hype trailer, all that good stuff. Maybe some like pre-orders will get early access to something like this. Ultimately, I'm definitely excited about this. Going on over to It's the Nine Ball. Your thoughts about this?
I'm pretty good. I mean, I actually makes me interested. I gotta go through it though. I gotta go through part one. Then gotta go to part two. Then
I promise you, it's like ripping off a band-aid. Once you get through part one, like once you get halfway through part one and then finish part one, when you start part two, it's going to be a breath of fresh air. Because it is a dated game. It's an older game, but part two and Inquisition do not feel dated like part one does. The very first one is extremely dated.
So for anyone listening, and what Malachi is talking about is, so Dragon Age Origins is the first in the series. It was like kind of their first run with this whole setup with the choice based systems and all. So it's a very dated system. So in other words, what we're saying by dated means, you pretty much just had lines of text, and you had to read the text to determine how it's probably going to react to a person, versus them giving you that little clue of, it's a heart, it's an angry person, it's a comedy, it's an intellectual, it's what are you doing, no, they don't give you any of that. Like, you have to read it. And then, like, I've sort of got someone put a filter on those things and threw them in there then, because like half the time, like what's comedy and what's not, it doesn't show up in the same spot. So like, you have to read through the whole thing. Not only that, but the graphic system is really old, in terms of um, textures and everything. It still uses 3D models, but not like advanced 3D models. But then I don't remember the gap between Origins and Dragon Age 2 there.
There's a pretty. I remember that pretty well.
Yeah. It's you could tell though, it's a huge gap, because by the time you get into Dragon Age 2, like, you're almost up to like, I don't know, Fable level graphics and meshes and everything, and like, and just going further probably. But yeah, so there's a huge jump between the two.
Yeah, and even to take it even further, so like the combat itself in Dragon Age Origins, which I don't remember this my first time playing it through, but when I went back after years of playing it and coming back to it, it was almost turn-based. It's not turn-based, but it was like more, everything was almost on cooldown, even your auto attacks. It felt that way. In Dragon Age 2, it was like if you're a warrior, you're able to slice them up, slice and dash, almost like a hack and slash. Your character in Dragon Age 2 has voice acting. He doesn't inside the first one. It's just a model, and it is what it is. Also, on top of that, some of the recording that was happening in Dragon Age 1 sounded like they were recording in a bathroom. Like,
it probably was.
Like, and like, even when they got hit, your guy doesn't talk, but he makes sound effects. So I'm like, like it literally sounded like that. And you can definitely tell that it's definitely an aged game for sure. which was surprising because I do not like my first time playing it. I did not get that vibe from it at all. But after being disconnected from it for so many years and come back to it, I was like, wow, like this is what I played. So yeah.
And it's what we'll torture our children with, so they understand the evolution of gaming.
Mm-hmm. Facts. But yeah, but once you get through the first, and it's so weird because the game design for the first one is like they knew what they were doing as far as like what they were presenting us, because halfway through, after you get used to the combat, then it gets a lot more fluent and fast, and it doesn't feel as jarring, because that first couple of hours that you're playing through it does feel very like, okay, I'm just trying to get through this and all that good stuff. But then but once you get about halfway through, that's when it's just like, okay, I can hang on tight. Now I'm in for this ride. It's a lot more fast paced. Cooldowns are almost like this now. And then Dragon Age 2 is just Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition just take it up a level each time.
I still love Meryl from Dragon Age 2. Oh my god, that elf.
Yeah. Something else.
Oh my god.
I will admit I was an absolute player on Dragon Age 2.
Now, for those of you who do not want to play Dragon Age or just who don't like playing dating games, you can start with Dragon Age 2. I would recommend you find a wiki and kind of just read up on the lore of the Dragon Age universe.
Just do the Dragon Age Keep, really.
I mean, you can do that too. Like, you're gonna have to do the Dragon Age Keep anyways. We can go into Inquisition because there's an issue with the codex and they couldn't transfer. But what I'm saying is, for those who don't want to play through one, if you want to know more about the backstory of like what they're talking about in the world, you can you can get you can like pull up a wiki and read through it and just kind of like, just figure out like what's going on from there and like who the characters are and all that. So
but ultimately cannot wait for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fantastic. That's at least what I'm anticipating, and 18 months is not that far away. We're already 3 months inside 2022, so bring it on is what I say. Bring it on.
Yep.
And I did go ahead and find that article, which shows by Jessica Howard, which is what we just read. At the top, she says, update, the original copy of the report stated that the game would be ready within 18 months. However, Grubb has since stated that the game is actually at least 18 months away from release. The story has been updated to reflect this correction. So I'm pretty sure I read that, but just for the sake of saying it, so right there, it looks like that from what Jeff Grubb is saying and predicting. It's not even really a prediction because Jeff Grubb is like in the thicket of stuff. Like, he's definitely a journalist that be rubbing shoulders with Xbox and some of these big name developers. And so he's saying that it's expected to be released in the next 18 months, which is very exciting for us Dragon Age fans. So there you have it. Going on over. Oh wow, I have to set this up. Have this up. Okay. Going on over to the next story, which is story number 4. Bethesda launchers is closing. Hiram Creer from Games Radar says this in their article. The Bethesda PC launcher is being retired, with the entire games library being transferred to Steam. Bethesda announced the fairly sudden change of course for its PC launcher earlier today, February 22nd. At some point in early April, the Bethesda PC launcher will begin shutting up shop, and users will be able to transfer any games they own over to Steam library. However, it won't be until May that the launcher will be officially closed its doors. The early April period is when transfers from Bethesda launchers to Steam will officially kick off, but users on the Bethesda PC launcher will still be able to play their games on said launcher until May. Basically, this gives users a month-long window to transfer their games library on over to Steam. It's not only the games library that's taking a hike, though. Any money that you currently hold onto your wallet for Bethesda PC launcher can also be transferred to your Steam wallet with immediate effect as of early April. So this is one that me and Nineball were talking off stream. I'm going to be honest with you and completely transparent. I didn't even know that Bethesda even had a launcher. Nineball said that he forgot that they even had a launcher. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where I was just like, all right, cool. I mean, Yeah, everything's being transferred on over to Steam. If you have a Steam account, cool. If you don't have one, you might want to get and only have the Bethesda launch on your PC. You might want to consider getting one so that way you don't miss out on anything. I'm wondering if there's going to be like a refund option if people don't want to have a Steam account and they have a Bethesda account. Like they're just like, hey, I'm not going to have a Steam account. Can you just transfer any money that's in my wallet? Can you just give that back to me? So very curious of how that's going to go. And then also like it's not really entirely surprising to me that they're shutting down their launcher, especially with them being under Xbox now. Like there's no need for it, to be completely honest with you. And apparently there's no need for it even before that. so this is just a little bit of news I threw out there in case anybody that is listening right now on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. If you guys have a Bethesda launcher or Bethesda login for your Bethesda launcher, you might want to jump on that before May. Does anyone have any commentary on that, or is this more of like, oh, that's interesting?
I'm surprised that
you're muted there, Eyeball.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to grab something real quick. So I just found something out. Apparently, I had a Bethesda account because apparently I got passwords and stuff for it. I think it was back a long time ago when I got Fallout 76. I think they've tried to force you to put it on Bethesda's account.
Interesting.
A little bit there, and it didn't work. Aside of that, it's probably, if you have a Bethesda account and you're using it actively, you're probably using it on your Stadia. Okay? I don't think many people.
What's that, Nine Ball?
It's just X Bethesda, they know. I forgot they even had, outside that, I forgot they even had a Bethesda. Let me see. I don't even think I have it on here. No, I never put it back. God, I never put my Bethesda.
I think I've got a Bethesda account because when I was trying to do mods on PlayStation, when they finally allowed it for Fallout 4,
I remember that.
You had to make a Bethesda account to be able to even do
the engine thing they was doing. I remember that.
It was the worst thing ever, which is why I rebought it on Steam and did it from there. But I'm still gonna go online and just check it out and see if I've got if there's anything there or something I need to pay attention to. But last time I remember, I think I just did it for the mods. But other than that, I'm like, I kind of surprised that they just don't offer Xbox too. Saying, hey, if you got an Xbox Game Pass or something, transfer it to there or whatnot. I don't know.
To be honest, if you're on an Xbox or PlayStation, you wouldn't have a Bethesda launcher. Why would you have a Bethesda launcher?
No, I'm saying like with those who had the Bethesda launcher.
Yeah.
Why can't go to the Game Pass since Xbox has the capability of doing Game Pass?
Well, because it's already going to be included.
I'm talking for the month. I understand it would be included, but it's like that's like in the rotating roster. But it's like if you've already owned it through Bethesda, like why can't they just activate a key in Game Pass and you just locks in saying you own that game from through Game Pass? So
how come that
was just a curiosity that they didn't announce.
The thing though is that's like because I get what you're saying as far as the rotating library, but that's the thing. Bethesda games are not going to be rotating. Period. They're permanently on Game Pass. Like all Xbox like all like Halo, Starfield, Redfall, anything that's like Xbox Studios and owned by Xbox is just going to be on Game Pass. Period. So all of those Bethesda games, they're forever going to be on Game Pass as long as Xbox owns them. And then
Go ahead. So I got a better idea. How about they just never do this again?
I mean, they don't have to. They're not going to. They don't have to worry about this anymore.
I hope nobody ever does that again.
Hence the reason why I think that they're getting rid of the launcher, because they're just like, all right, well, we're underneath Xbox now. There's nothing else for us to really do here. We just got to make games. That's our only purpose now.
Well, nobody even had the launcher to begin with. I don't even understand why it was made.
They were probably trying to act like Epic.
Yeah, I believe.
Steam.
Oh, you ain't gonna beat Steam.
Steam is so cemented in there. Even Xbox and even Microsoft looks at them and goes, "You guys have fun."
Yeah.
Like, they ain't gonna touch that.
I think it was because they seen EA do it, and it was, oh, they did it. And it was like that little kid. It's not fair. EA's got their own launcher. Can't we have ours?
Yeah, well, I mean, even so, like when that's just kind of how businesses work in general. They find something, they see something that somebody else is doing, and it works for them. So then they try to do it because then you have the Ubisoft launcher, you have the Bethesda launcher, you have
What
the
launcher? The UB what?
whatever Ubisoft is trying to do or whatever. And yeah, like they have all these different types of launchers that's just kind of out, or even being in the process. Like even take Game Pass for example. Like Game Pass has been out for a while. We started seeing more of the success of Game Pass in the past like year and a half, 2 years now, and now PlayStation is going to be answering to that by coming out with their Project Spartacus, whatever that's going to be. Like they're having like all that's just kind of how businesses' minds work in general for whatever reason. But yeah, so but now with Bethesda, going back to the Bethesda launcher deal, I think at this point they're just like, yep, well, we're under Xbox. We don't need, yeah, we're under Xbox. All we have to do is worry about doing games, and we're good to go.
I don't even know why they had it. Figure this mess out.
Story number 5, numero 5. Final Fantasy 14 has its free trial incoming. Vicky Blake from Games Radar says this in her article. Final Fantasy 14 will once again be offering free trials from next week. Addressing fans in his latest letter to the producer live stream, producer director Naoki Yoshida confirmed that that now servers were more stable again. The game's generous free trial. Oh, wait a minute. Now that servers were more stable again, the game's generous free trials, which gives players a chance to play the game before fully committing, will be available again from February 22nd on both PC and PlayStation console. Developer Square Enix was forced to temporarily suspend free. They weren't forced. I mean, I mean, she says forced, but I think that they decided that because of what was going on. But anyway, developer Square Enix was forced to temporarily suspend free trials and digital sales for the highly successful MMORPG last December to keep up with the high demand and better lengthy queues for fans trying to join the game. Then, last month, the developer pulled out all the steps to keep its servers secure, including opening a new Oceanian data center, and expansions of Japanese, European, and North America data centers are scheduled throughout 2022. Quote, just over a month from Endwalker's launch, Final Fantasy XIV has arguably never seen a better shape than it has been right now, he wrote. It might take you potentially hours to get into the MMORPG in the first place. Hell, you can't even get into the game at all right now if you're a brand new prospective player. But what awaits you after is a vast welcoming player base, dungeons with hordes of players chomping at the bit to squad up, and an enthralling new storyline and subsequent lands to explore, and so much more. Whether you're a new player returning to Eorzea after a little break, there really isn't a better time to experience Final Fantasy XIV for yourself. In case you missed it, yesterday's Final Fantasy XIV producer director Naoki Yoshida confirmed that there are no plans of incorporating any sorts of NFTs and elements in the game at this point. End quote, end story. So there you guys have it. You guys already know I'm a huge advocate when it comes to Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy XIV for sure. It's the 9 ball also dabbles inside some Final Fantasy 2 as well. I know he's a huge fan of Final Fantasy 8 for sure. But I definitely want to throw out there, if you guys are interested in this free trial, definitely worth checking it out. Open world, it's a beautiful environment, if you will, and probably the best MMORPG that I personally have ever played. So yeah. Any other additional commentaries at all before we actually end up the night?
Well, it's actually worth playing. I mean, I liked it. I got to get back on it though. I've been busy with so much other stuff.
There's so many games that's out. Horizon
Yeah,
Forbidden
like
West. You
I've got so much out right now. It's just it's nice that it's there, and that it's that it's really doing well currently. So I'm definitely happy for it and happy for all those who are being able to play and continue playing, and that they are still releasing content for it, because that's kind of one of the big kickers for MMOs, as we kind of saw with WoW, as they kind of ran out of stuff to launch for it, and they were going backwards to relaunching old stuff.
No, they had a bunch of internal problems that killed that company.
Well,
Oh,
there that was just a small thing, but there was a lot of other crap going on
yeah,
there.
they
But
was.
for Final Fantasy, though, and just from you guys and what I've heard around on the web and all, just it's going strong and people love it. So yeah, take advantage of it if you're looking for a decent MMO. I know my team's been trying to get me onto it, but I just get sidetracked so much with different stuff and all. So it's
And that's
yeah,
especially with the time period we're in, makes absolute sense. Like there's so many games that's out right now, and there's just more that's coming out. Forspoken's around the corner. You got Stranger in Paradise is around the corner. You got
Elden Ring.
Yeah, literally coming out this Friday. GT7, if you guys are any of the car racing games at all. And there's just a lot of games that's coming out, and it's
I
just
forgot about GT7.
Yeah, this is a very exciting time to be a gamer. Very exciting time to be a gamer. Ladies and gentlemen, that actually wraps up our episode 8, season 2 of ALWT Things Gaming for 2022. Ooh, yes.
I need to do one last plug.
Go ahead.
For anyone on Steam, Next Gen is currently going on. Nineball did have to remind me of that because I completely missed it because I was lost in the Forbidden West. But Next Gen pretty much is where they have a lot of demos on Steam that you can install. For those who don't know, demos are free to play. They are shorter versions of the game, like little trials. But there's a lot of them out there on for it. So in there, demos of games that are coming soon. So if you had something on your wish list and it's on here, you can now download a demo for it and give it a try and see if you want to keep it. Or maybe you find something on there that you didn't know about, and you download the demo and you like it, and you want to just go ahead then and add it to your wish list. So get on there, check out what these creators are doing. A lot of these people are indie to smaller base companies, so I'm pretty sure they would love to hear from you, see you play the game, the demo, and hear your feedback on it. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
There you have it. Yes, so this Thursday is actually going to be open. We have a likely idea of what we're going to be doing for our next SIN segment, which is going to take place in March. I'm going to give the boys a day off on Thursday, so we can go ahead and just woosah and recollect our thoughts of Remnant from the Ashes, which was a great game. We had a good time playing that all the way through. I know Mildewy Carrot's thinking about going back and possibly playing some of the DLC content and everything like that. But we'll go ahead and give that Thursday a little bit of a breather time off. But starting next Thursday, we're going to start a new SIN segment, which right now we have a runner-up, or a front runner, I should say. We have a front runner right now for for next Thursday, but that will be confirmed next week as we get closer. Yeah, and then next Tuesday is ALWT Things Gaming, once again, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nothing else outside of that. And you might be seeing a stream or two of Elden Ring over the weekend, because I know me and a couple of the boys are getting that at launch, and I will be streaming that. That's going to be a good time, so we're going to take a look at that. Until next time, everybody. Control, Alt,
Complete.
Peace, love, and all the grease.
All right.